Good morning and welcome to the Fight Club. It's your boy Deuce here, joined as always by my brothers in arms. We got Jonathan Tillman, aka The Till Show, aka Old Monk, Young Monk, tra world
Word,
traveler,
word.
all those wise things, Professor Till. Also, as always, we have All You Can Be, Corey
All right.
Bliss,
Chill.
aka C
Guy.
Blaze, aka Young OG. Happy Memorial Day to the soldier over there. Well, Memorial Day weekend, should I say? So we had to delay it a week because my man was out over. He is being all he can be the last couple of weeks on his training, shooting
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and all that good stuff, making sure he in shape just in case we get invaded by the French. If we
Hmm.
get invaded by the French, he gonna be on the front lines, making sure
Ain't no
you
front
know,
lines. I'm just gonna
they don't
punch the
get no
button.
baguettes, no baguettes for the French. So, you know, we always support our troops. I make jokes, but definitely appreciate those guys out there keeping us safe in this great old country of the U.S. of A. and all those good things. So definitely a big shout out to that. I guess it's a Gal weekend, Soldier Gal and Nash. So everybody get on Street Fighter, play Gal and Nash, get on
That's
Mortal
what I'm
Kombat, pull up Jax and Sonya and things of that nature. Support the troops. But nice to see you guys again. This morning.
Hey,
It's a
Yeah,
little
it's
early.
early. It is very early.
man, I can still taste yesterday. It's too early.
That sounds like a mission.
Nah,
But
nah. We are not going to do this today.
I'm just saying, I'm a little bit old and washed, but the only time I tasted it the night before was
Wings, bro,
some
wings.
other
I had fried chicken
Cutscene.
wings.
Cutscenes.
hmm Yeah, that's what happens when you get deuced up at 7 o'clock in the morning and be on a video show. Filter not there just yet, so good morning. For y'all who don't know, I'm out in the desert. I'm in Arizona, so it's 7 a.m. over here, so 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So
Hmm.
I'll let you guys take it from here because I'm still kind of waking up, to be perfectly honest.
Please, just read the
But
tournament results while I
what were we
finish.
talking about? We got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about today. We wanted to talk about how tier lists are, and how important they are, how not important they really are, and the title of the show, "Learning Yourself." We've been talking a lot of stuff. It's kind of leading up to this last couple shows. We were talking about learning your destiny, choosing your characters, and how to play styles, and now learning yourself. So you figured out who you want to play, how you want to play. Now you got to start playing, obviously, and once you start playing, you got to figure out what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. So we wanted to figure out how to learn yourself, become a better player, better fighter, play defense better, play offense better, tech better, play the neutral better. All these terms and things that we've been talking about the last couple shows. We want it's time to start pulling that all together and just incrementally getting better. So that's what we want to do today is talk about those things. Professor Till, what do you say? How do we start here? Where do we go?
Um, I guess we can start with just knowing yourself. When you have your character that you like, I'll just use me as an example with Ryu. Um, and then you figure out how they said there's a way to see how this character is played before you even play, because usually with especially with newer games, there's already people testing them, there's already people having exhibition matches with the games as they're before it even comes out, so you probably can see most of the characters how they work before you even get your hands on them. So you play Ryu is kind of in the middle of everything. You can rush down, he can zone, and he has mobility. He's not the fastest character. He's not the slowest character. So you figure that out, and then you got to figure out how do you get to your big damage, and how do you win? Do you win with getting in one time, and you have to sacrifice your life, your health, sacrifice your health to get in and get close to your opponent, or are you going to win by staying away, making them come to you and making them make mistakes? Um, a lot of times when if a character doesn't seem to be coming together for you, you might be doing something wrong with how you play that character. Um, Not every character is like, as I always say, everybody wants to hit the buttons, but it's where you hit the buttons and when you hit the buttons as how you win. And not every character is going to be successful up close. Not every character is going to be successful from far away. So you have to figure out what you need to do to play this character at this optimal level. Um, it will require a lot of losing or a lot of training mode. Like at something is going to kick your ass, whether it's the computer or it's people online, or if you got a buddy, nearby as people locally. But you will get your ass kicked as you learn their character. Now your fundamentals of video fighting is they save you and may win some matches, but you won't optimize. You have to lose to optimize your character because you need to learn all the matchups and you need to learn the ins and outs of what the character can do in certain situations. You don't just know that. Like you don't just know it. You gotta figure it out. Um, and that kind of placates into tier lists because if enough people say, "Oh, this character can't do this," or "This character can do this," or "This character is really good at this," or "not really good at that," that's how the list is created. And as Deuce said, it's kind of opinionated. So it's take it with a grain of salt. But first and foremost, always try to figure the character out yourself because your playstyle might be different from somebody else's playstyle who plays the exact same character. Like I play Ryu, like I said, but my Ryu is nowhere near as aggressive as Taquito's. But but I take things from Tokido in certain situations because he is the Ryu right now. I'm sorry to say that, Daigo, but Tokido is the Ryu right now.
Yep.
And so he has optimized his character in a way that other people have not yet. You take little things and like I'm not really good at pressure. Like it's here and there. I can't stay in somebody's face. That's not how I play. So I incorporate the times that I need to be close. I get that from Tokido, from Daigo, from Forward, from various pro player reviews that do things that I don't do, and they do them really well. So it's just about it's really everything is really trial and error, man. Just learn, put yourself in these situations. Okay, I can do this, I can't do that, and then that's how you assess whether or not your character is high on the tier list or low on the tier list.
Top tier, top tier, top tier guy.
Top five, top
Corey
five, top five.
Blaze.
Whoa,
C
whoa, whoa,
Blaze,
buddy.
top tier
Whoa,
guy.
buddy.
What?
Whoa, buddy.
Everything.
Talk to me about these tiers because you always picking top tier
I'm
individuals in
not.
every game.
I'm
That's the
not.
only reason. That's the only reason you're good. You always just pick whoever's the top tier.
uh, Man, tier list is one of those things. It's depending who you ask is going to be a mix of opinions. So there's a general consensus of who the good characters are, general consensus who the bad characters are. And when you place them, most of the time, there's always a argument that you can make for who's the top character, who's the worst character. Example, Third Strike. There is no ifs, ands, or doubts about Chun Li not being
It
the
is.
best character
It
in the
is.
game.
It is Chun-Li. It is Chun-Li.
Chun Li is the best character in Third Strike history. It's not even up for debate. Then you got some games such as we could take Mortal Kombat. There is no top one character because
Yeah, it
we
can't.
see, yeah, it's whoever Sonic Fox is playing. We're just gonna put it like that.
Sonic Fox.
It's whoever he's playing, best character in the game. But it's so many different variances and all this other stuff and balance changes and stuff. You can't really make a good tier list until the game has reached its conclusion at the end.
Mhm.
Um, so as we're stepping into with Mortal Kombat doing all these balance updates. We're doing Street Fighter Five. There's new characters being added. Some bugs and patches and stuff are being fixed. And I don't think we're going to see a complete game until like another 5 years to where they actually stop adding the balance changes.
Mm.
And it's mainly just cosmetic updates. Once they got the final roster, then we can make an assessment. But there's no question that Bison's a good character, Chun-Li's a good character, Ryu. A lot of people are now picking Ken due to the Trinity and
Hmm.
Momochi, but in my opinion, I don't think Ken is a top tier character. It's just people haven't learned how to beat Ken yet.
Right.
It's one of those things, and then the game is the character is so good in the right person's hands, but I still don't think he's that good because he's so negative on so many things. Is
Hmm.
you're just losing to a better player. So when you as picking your character, don't go by the tier list. Go by who you want to play. Now, granted, if you know you're picking a horrible character, you know you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
I.e., Snake Eyes, him and Zangief. We'll take
Hmm.
it back to Usher. He know Geef was bottom 10 character, but he made it work. He won a lot of tournaments. He was the highest American that placed with that character in Capcom Pro Tour Finals last year. Was it fourth place?
Hmm. Yeah.
My man's walked away with
Capcom.
it.
Yeah, he's fourth place last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my man's walked away with a nice chunk of change. 15 racks to play video games. I'm okay with that.
Right.
So, and that's with the bad character. But in this game, Geef is actually pretty bad. So we've seen him move over to Alice a little bit, and he's starting to favor that character. He's just trying to get his footing. So don't go by the tier list. Go by what you think. But even prior to him switching to Alice, he played Geef, who is no argument. He is the worst character in
Yeah.
Street
Yeah.
Fighter Five,
Fourth character.
and he won the first 3, 4 Wednesday night fights without losing
Hmm.
at all. So, like I said, it's about who you're playing against. So the character may be bad, but if you're playing against people that you're better than, you can make it work. But if you're playing a bad character against people that's just as good or better than you, you're not going to win with that character 9 times out of 10. You might got to make some adjustments, or you just have to improve yourself. Or sometimes it is just the character. So tier list is all opinion based, but some things are factual. You can say who's a top 5 character. A lot of people in this game are picking Chun Li. I think Ryu's the best character in the game. And that's just my personal opinion. And this is coming from a Nash player. I don't even think Nash is top 3. I will give him top 5 if you want to make the argument. But the fact he doesn't have many winning matchups, he just has a lot of stuff he doesn't lose in. Just like Ryu. Ryu doesn't win a lot of matchups, but he holds his own across the board. He doesn't necessarily struggle. So when
Um, I was sitting there looking at that tier list, and I really don't particularly care for the concept
hmm
because most games always have a goal of trying to make the game as balanced as possible. It's one of those unattainable goals because you have to make people. Each character has to look good at doing something. So if they're good at doing something, that means other characters have to be weak at defending it at some point. So in essence, it's going to be unbalanced because you're purposely trying to make Zangief, when he's up close, you need to be afraid of his command grabs and all the other command grab characters. So that means if you're not a command grab character, you typically going to be in trouble if you're up close to a command grab character. So in that situation, now you're a low tier in in that little situation. If you have full screen against a Dhalsim or a zoning character, you're going to have a little bit of harder time getting in against a decent character. And so when it comes down to tiered lists, they always say, oh, well, it's about if you have two people of the same skill level. And that's kind of one of those gray areas to me personally. Because unless it's the same person with the same mind, it's never going to be the same level. I mean, you
yeah,
could take uh, Daigo and Tokido, you could say that they're pretty much on the same level. You put them on the same map, you put them both of them using Ryu in Street Fighter Five, it's not going to go the same way. I mean, it's going to go up and down. Taquito might beat Daigo 10 times in a row. Daigo might beat Taquito 10 times in a row. So it's just kind of, it's awkward, and they can go through the different matchups throughout the game, and who's to say who would win more? You put Fang in Daigo's hand and uh, Rashid and Tokido's hand, who's going to win most matches? Like, how do you sit there and break it up? Because they might just be more comfortable with another player.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't like, personally, I don't like the idea of tier lists, but I understand as human beings, we have to organize things and try to make sense of why you're losing.
Right.
I feel like tier lists pop up when people lose and they try to make excuses. Um, some characters, yes, do have less tools against other characters in the game. That
Mm,
still, to me, doesn't mean that they're low tier. I would say it just means you have to work harder. Um, And like you said, I don't want to beat the Zangief into the ground, but that's literally the perfect example as far as Street Fighter is concerned, because he is tough to use because he's big, he's slow, he's a big target, and he literally does do massive damage up close. But if you have good defense and good patience in this game, because a lot of the characters' movement speed is a little bit quicker than it has been in past games, it's a little bit easier to kind of run in, get a little couple hits in, jump out because jumping is the safest thing. Yeah, he has the air throw, but that's so unsafe for him. They're not going to do it that much, and they have to be pretty psychic. You can backdash. There's a lot of things you can do to get away from that command grab. So on paper, it looks like he's just really terrible to play. But I'm sure give it a year, it'll be a little bit more balanced. Once Snake Eyes, and he literally was the only super duper Zangief and Ultra as well. He'll figure stuff out 'cause that's his boy. He's been playing with him for years since he's been playing Street Fighter. So he'll figure some things out and start being good with Zangief as well. It's just that they gave us a couple more even better grapplers, so he's kind of leaning towards some of these other grapplers as well. And it's a new game, fresh
Yeah,
feel.
yeah. You also got to think
Um,
is he can beat the average person with Zangief. That's not a problem. He could beat the most above average person with Zangief. That's not the problem. The problem is he got this coins on the line. He is a professional game player. He's trying to get this check. So,
mm-hmm.
and this character is holding him back from getting the big check. Yeah, he can go win these
yes,
small
sir.
tournaments and fans and butts, but he trying to get this money. You got to switch characters and do what you got to do. So, like I said, it may not mean he's a bad character, which he is bad, but for all intents and purposes and what your goals and end goals is, yeah, you
You
got
gotta
you
have a
gotta
backup.
you gotta have a
Yeah.
backup. And Alice is his
Yeah,
backup.
definitely.
Like he
I
made
agree
it
with
all the
that.
way through pools. He made it through whatever. He gets to the top 64, top 32. It just once you're at that point, you with the goats, you with the godlike players, and that
Mm-hmm.
character ain't gonna get it done. But he did better the second he switched to Alex. He got his first top 8 finish at the major, I believe, or top 16. So I'm hoping he keeps moving forward and do better.
Most definitely. I think you start talking about the tiers and being in the middle, being in top tier, being low tier, and all those things. And like Till said, it is mostly about knowing why people even think that they're low tier. Why do they think that they're mid tier? Or why do they think that they're high tier? It at least gives you a starting point on where to begin on your own journey with that character.
Right.
It's a good way to, if some people don't like watching people play, but watching some of these tournaments would at least give you, oh, they keep doing the same combo. I never done that combo. That doesn't mean you should just mirror what they're doing, but it's probably a good optimized combo. That person has already put in
Mm-hmm.
several hundred hours into the game, and most of these tournament players only play one character. And if that's
Right.
the combo that they chose after hundreds of hours of practice, and you've only been playing the game for a couple of hours, that's probably a good starting point to at least say, oh, I should add that into my repertoire because they decided after two, three, 400 hours or several thousand matches that that's an optimized combo or setup. You should probably mix it into your game and then play and then try it out. And you're gonna lose. You might win a couple, but like we first kind of touched on last show, you do have to learn yourself. Watch your matches if you're trying to get better. If you want to play, keep playing, have fun. That's the key. Have fun. It's a video game. But if you then are saying, "Oh, I don't know why I keep losing," or "I beat these particular types of players, but I can't. I'm struggling against this character," for example,
Mm-hmm.
you have to rewatch that match and if you're streaming, you can watch that video. Xbox, you can record the last couple of seconds, or you can just record the last match, 5, 10, 15 minutes or so. Um, Street Fighter on PlayStation, it automatically saves all your matches. I think Mortal Kombat saves all your matches. Blaze Blue saves your matches. So most of these games now are having this replay feature, which is actually being underutilized by the majority of folks. You can actually watch your matches and figure out, oh, every time you don't notice it because you're just playing a game, but every time you go do something, you're doing the same thing, and you're wondering why you keep getting punished. And you don't quite
Mm-hmm.
notice it in the heat of the battle because your blood pressure up, you're getting stressed, you're getting gamer rage coming out, you're about to punch through tables and punch through walls, juice. But um, or throw your controller around, JV. Your head breaking your headsets, you know.
There was no
So
more.
you don't react.
It was no more good.
It's no more good. You can't use that no more. It doesn't work anymore. You're just trash now. So, you get upset and you don't really pay attention to what you're doing. And you're doing the same thing, and your opponent is extremely happy about that,
Hmm.
because you're frustrated and you're doing the same thing because you're just trying to force your will at this point. All logic has gone out the window.
Right.
The only way you can stop those types of moments from happening is really watching your matches, not every single time, but every now and then. Kind of do a review. I typically try to review a couple of my matches every, I don't know, say about a month to see my progress. And see, okay, I started trying this or trying this, and I do that for a couple weeks. And then every month I try to sit down and see if I notice a difference. And I'll go look at like maybe 2 or 3 matches that I just ran, and then I'll look at some matches from last month, maybe a couple months ago, and say, oh, okay, I didn't realize I was that trash like 6 months ago. And it's like, like I didn't realize that I was getting better, but everybody else is also getting better. So I just didn't realize it until I watched some of my matches, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting better. That's
Yeah.
fine. So I don't know. Till Corey, y'all are much, 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 much better than I am as far as analyzing your own play and watching previous videos. Any tips on what to look at, maybe more specifically, or strategies that you do? Do you sit down? Do you have a notepad with you? Do you take notes or anything like that?
Go ahead, Corey.
Um, take notes. No. uh, I might. I kind of do everything mentally. Cause I don't know, it comes natural to me as far as understanding what works and what doesn't work. So I will remember that in the Ryu matchup. Oh, I can't throw a fireball from this range, or I can actually, if we throw a double fireball and I dash up, I can counter it with a medium sonic scythe, and I would get the hit for the combo. So just little stuff like that. But mainly when I go back and I watch, I watch why I lost, but I also want to see what I did good because pretty much in this game, man, it's like all logic has to be turned off. Every time I try to play smart, I lose.
That's online. That's
You're right.
online play.
You're right. You're right. I know I would do much better. I have much cleaner sets. I would say much cleaner play against better players. Like when I play against Till, our sets are always clean. There's not much
Hmm.
gimmicks involved. But online, I have to be like, okay, what that gimmick that they're doing? What do I got to do to beat that?
Right.
So I look to see what they did. I'll go to the lab, try to recreate the situation, and I would just press every single button that I have and see what button works in that situation. And if no button works, then I know I just have to block, or I have to V reversal, or I have to just not get put in that situation. So
Run
Exactly.
away.
yeah, because what people got to fail to understand, sometimes there isn't an answer. Sometimes the only answer is don't get put in that situation. Like Mika, there is no answer to beating Mika once she puts you in the corner. Just don't get there. Do
Right.
not let her put you in the corner, and everything will be okay. If you could somehow get out after that, much power to you. Like if you play over you again, a spinning tatsu, a jumping air tatsu is pretty good, or especially if you EX it. So there's a lot of options and stuff. You just gotta figure out what works, and you it makes sense if you watch the match and it says someone if you lost because someone smacked you in the face 10 times with fireballs because you tried to dash up or play at unsafe ranges, then okay, I'm just gonna if this starts to happen again, just don't do that. Or neutral jump, or you look back and say I should have jumped forward instead of just neutral jump. I should have jumped backwards. Oh, this person likes to grab a lot. I should have noticed this sooner. So if I backdash, which backdashing is grab invincible, is grab invincible, you would have beat that. So,
Hmm.
knowing the game helps you the best when knowing why you win and why you lost. So if you don't know the game, you're not gonna take nothing away from it because all you're gonna understand is why don't this work because
Right.
you don't understand the hitboxes, you don't understand the hitboxes, confirms the ranges, the frame data, saying, oh, that person, I threw this out first, but that person threw that out first. Yeah, but that move is more active much sooner than yours is. So learn the game, and then once you learn the game and you know how that move or that attack works, uh, that will help you get better as far as understanding what you did good and what you did wrong. And then if you don't know why it worked, just go research it. There's
Right.
there's like 5 Street Fighter apps. You got us. You can sit there and hit Twitch and click, whatever game you want to get better in, and just watch a top player. Because I don't know any top player I haven't watched stream that doesn't talk about the game and talk about why the stuff works as they're playing.
Right.
Especially like lately, I've been watching a lot of Chris G stream, and he does a lot of talking, and he puts it in layman's terms to where the casual gamer that if you're not new to it, he would make it make sense to you. So okay, no, that's negative on block. Do that at this range. He's not going to give you all the frame data. He's not going to give you all the stuff that you may not understand quite yet. So there's options out there, and if you don't know, you got us three, your favorite black people in the world.
Word, 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 word.
Go ahead, Ted.
Um, yeah, my one thing I would just add on is whenever I look at my matches, I look to see, first and foremost, I look to see why did I get hit? Like, especially if it was a combo. Like, if it was a combo, why did I get hit? Did I get hit because I was too aggressive? Did they just, was that a good read on their part? Were they just confirming something and it looked like a loose hit, but it turned into a combo? Whatever. Like, yeah, I always look to see why did I get hit with that at that time? And then I try to especially if I'm playing a command grab character against a command grab character, I try to look to see, okay, when are the times that person playing that character wants to command grab? Is it after making me block a jab? Do they dash up and do it? Do they set it up after they knock me down? Like when am I getting hit? When do you want to get your big damage? Third, I look to see, especially if I'm working on something, I look to see if I trained that person to um to put themselves in that scenario for that specific attack or that specific combo to work. For example, when I play Jamel, and I'm giving him the full secret as to why I win when he plays, because he really should be beating me every single time. But whenever I play Jamel and I play Ryu, and it's like it's a close round, and it's like kind of like feeling each other out, playing footsies, trying to get that last hit or whatever. I know that I can dash up and do low forward into super because it's like his natural instinct is to stand block and it's not to low block. So I dash up and low forward. So the for the match, I'm rarely going low so I don't train him to low block at any time, and that way I keep him stand blocking, and I do low medium kick into super, and he loses the round, and then he asks why he lost the round. And I told him. So like it's tougher to do in one match scenarios because you only get 2 or 3 rounds to learn your opponent and figure out what they like to do and how to counter it. Like they always say, the first round is data, but if you're playing somebody who's high level, they know that too. So they may give you something in the first round and do something totally different as they're learning you too. So it's whenever I look at my old matches, I always look to see if I work on something like in Third Strike with Ken, that overhead kick that's in Street Fighter Five, it's a two hit normal. So if they're crouching and you hit him with the overhead attack, you can link into his super. And so if for a while I couldn't do it because I couldn't understand the timing. And then once I got it down, it's a read because it's so slow that if you see it, you can block it. So you have to literally guess that your opponent is going to low block, and not only going to low block, but going to hold that block and not react to this overhead kick. So it hits, and then you link it in the super. So I look to see if I trained them to do that. Like, did I go low a lot? Did I grab them? Did I do normals where if they crouch block, they still can block it. Like that's how I try. I try to see. I look to see how I got hit and if what I'm trying to train them to do worked. And if it did, cool. If it didn't, okay, we need to figure out another way to get to where I want to get to.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what Till said, he made a good point. Is when you go back and look at why you win, if you've come across that particular character, sometimes like let's take JB for example. I know I if push come to shove, I just turn my brain off and I can beat JB because he doesn't react to crazy well.
Right.
So if he's beating me in the fastest, I'm going to turn my brain off and I'm going to jump 50 times in a row and I'm going to put immense pressure on him and eventually he'll crack. And then when he's expecting crazy and I go back to playing smart, that can get you the win. But also understand that that could cause you to lose. And the one
Yeah.
thing you don't want to do is practice bad habits. So
Yeah.
don't get bad habits just to pick up the win. I mean, do what you got to do
Deuce,
with money.
Deuce did that so you don't have to.
I mean, hey, if it's money on the line, do what you got to do.
Do what
But
you got to do.
for the sake of getting better, because that's what we want. We want you to get better. Do not pick up the cheap stuff because then you're going to lose everything else.
Most definitely. We keep mentioning JB. I just want to shout him out. That's Mailman 1716 on PlayStation, on PSN. One of the he is the best Argonos player, but still playing Killer Instinct right now. Literally, not even
Yeah.
exaggerating.
Not a joke.
Top,
Not a joke.
definitely a
Yeah.
top 10, possibly a top 5 Killer Instinct player in the world. So definitely shout out to him. It's a UL Mailman on Xbox Live. He's
Fantastic.
definitely still playing Killer Instinct.
Yeah, go get the
Um, since we are mentioning JB, I always think about Killer Instinct because that's his main game. As far as where a lot of his skill is, um, I guess we should mention the slow death of Killer Instinct, possibly.
yeah.
Um, So a lot of top Killer Instinct players are quitting. They're just putting the game down. They're going to play other games, and shoot, some of them not even going to other fighting games. They're playing Overwatch and Battleborn. So
Right.
as much as folks have laughed at us because I shouted out some MOBAs and some other games on shows in the past, they're fun. I mean, we play video games to have fun, right? So and some of them are competitive as well, and they have tournaments and they have money on the line as well. So some of these guys have switched from playing Killer Instinct to not even go try to play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or anything like that, or try to get better at Tekken or anything. They're completely dropping
Yeah.
fighters competitively to go play team-based shooters and MOBA-inspired battle games, team-based stuff. So yeah, Killer
Which
Instinct is kind of slowing down a little bit. And old mailman over there, JB, Jamel Bozeman, he's letting us know that some of the pots are getting smaller and things of that nature. What do y'all think about that? Because I was just watching Max stream last night. He was streaming some Gargos matches, and he kind of brought up a nifty idea slash rumor, which I wonder how much of a rumor it really is, being that he works at KI.
yeah.
Um, and he's like, maybe they start a new Killer Instinct. It has been out 3 years. It came out at launch with these new consoles with the Xbox One. It was a launch title, and it has been 3 years. The seasons thing, obviously, with people dropping the game, has gotten stale and is kind of getting old. I know for one, I haven't even played season 3. I keep saying I want to, but I don't really want to spend the money for the new characters because why?
Yeah.
It's nothing against Killer Instinct. I think it's still a fantastic game. It's probably the best value in fighting games across the board. I mean, you got a lot of characters, and you had 3 years worth of gameplay for $60, literally. So it's a really fantastic game. You don't even have to buy every character. So I mean, the game itself technically is free. So it's a really good game. If you haven't played it, I always suggest playing it. It's a good game for new beginners. But they're talking about maybe coming out with a new one. They're talking about this new Xbox that is rumored as well. Maybe they come out with the new Xbox and maybe it's a new Killer Instinct. Maybe they go and push the story forward. This is kind of a reboot,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
from the old school Killer Instinct, and it's kind of Killer Instinct 1 and 2 kind of rebooted together. Maybe they kind of push it forward. Maybe we get Killer Instinct 3, or maybe they just kind of go straight and up and say Killer Instinct 4
Hmm.
with the new console. That's kind of they launched the Xbox One with Killer Instinct. Maybe they this kind of mid system of Xbox they come out with a new Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Y'all have any thoughts on that?
Uh, One thing before I lose this thought, we had to talk about a month ago. Ultra Dave tweeted out that Killer Instinct is a Killer Instinct game and that people that play Killer Instinct are generally not good in fighting games. They're just good at Killer Instinct. And now, with the steady decline of Killer Instinct and a lot of the top players choosing not to even go play other fighting games, it kind of, I mean, like that kind of, you got to think, does that
Point.
really hold merit? Is that
Yeah, it
really
kind of makes
true?
a point. Yeah,
You
it
know,
makes its point.
because Ultra Dave is rarely wrong. He's like he's one of the wizards, one of the OGs. He's a tech master. He gets, he may not be one of the best players, but he's probably definitely one of the best coaches, best commentators and stuff out there. So if it took a, that's a big hit for him to say that because he said he loves the game, he really does, but he went into the game playing it new, and he never played before, and he was beating people. And when he lost, he wasn't losing to fighting game mechanics. He lost because he was losing in Killer Instinct. And I'm sitting there thinking like, well, maybe that is some merit. Maybe that is the reason why. Maybe these guys have tried other games. There are some Killer Instinct players that do play other games that's pretty decent, like Jago Blake. He's a solid Mortal Kombat player.
Mm-hmm.
Um, CD Manny, he is an awesome Ken. Awesome Ken. He was doing real well at the start of Street Fighter Five. Rico Suave, he can play any game he really wants to. In all honesty, so he's ranked pretty high on Street Fighter Five uh, online ranking system. So he it's some of the guys can't play, but a lot of people are moving over. Like my boo Pink Diamond, she tried Street Fighter Five and got bodied a little bit. So it's just one of those things. I'm like, well, maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe it's one of those games to where a lot of people are moving away from it. So I'm gonna put money into these games that nobody's really watching.
There
Right.
you go.
Um, Another added thing is that, well, these MOBAs, these team games, if you will, they got more money in them.
Mm-hmm.
Pots of millions of dollars. So, um, sure, I mean, I'm sure the people who retired from Killer Instinct just retired from tournament play. So I'm sure they still play online, they still play casually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in terms of what they're trying to make money on as a gamer, they're probably switching to these other games, these Overwatches, um, League of Legends, what have you, because the pot is millions of dollars. It's like this, it's millions of dollars.
Literally.
Yeah, as far as the Killer Instinct reboot rumor, that's interesting because since Microsoft owns the rights to Killer Instinct, like it's an Xbox exclusive, um, rebooting it 3 years down the line and making people pay for it is a very interesting strategy. Now it works because we've seen it with Capcom updating Street Fighter 4. All they got to do is say Ultra Super Extra Terrestrial Street Fighter, and it's $15, and everybody will pay for it. So it works, but Killer Instinct, to be honest, isn't as popular as Street Fighter. The reason why Killer Instinct had the buzz it did is because it's been 20 years since Killer Instinct was popular. So it appealed to a lot of people's nostalgia. Now, like Dude said, the game is still fantastic. Like,
Yes.
I, it's fantastic, but it's not Street Fighter. It's not Mortal Kombat. And you, I don't want to say you kind of have to have a specific skill set to play Killer Instinct. Now you can have a general knowledge in fighting games and make your way through it. Like that's how I play. I'm not really extra good at Killer Instinct, but I win just on the strength of Street Fightering people. So your fundamentals can get you some wins, but in order to be elite, you gotta have a specific skill set. And like Corey said, that skill set does not translate to other games at times because I mean, there's rock paper scissors in every fighting game, in every competitive game, but there's no
There's not combo breakers in every game.
combo breakers. There's no combo breakers. That's just kind of how there's no combo breakers.
That's what it
So
is.
so you can't for Killer Instinct players going to other games, you can't save yourself with a guess. So your skill set changes and you have to figure out another way to win outside of, oh well, if I get hit I can just save myself because I know what Jago's medium normals look like and you just guess.
Hmm.
I get it, but to reboot another Killer Instinct 3 years down the line, Street Fighter ain't even do that. So that's interesting.
Well, I mean, focusing on their current model, it wouldn't really be another $60 or anything. I mean, their current model, even though people think about it because you're buying the seasons and stuff, the current model is a free model. It's a free to play model. You buy whatever character you want to use. So if they didn't not so much reboot it, but literally, how about a new game? So they just came out with season three. I don't think it'd be too crazy. Say
Yeah,
next spring or next spring to have a new Killer Instinct, and not so much a reboot, but full graphics, like everything, brand new game, new characters, maybe new systems, like a full new game. And started with this, and then also because, like you said, they're not as popular, continuing with that same price model with free to play, rotating free characters, and buy individual character for $2, $3, and going like that. Same thing with this current Killer Instinct. I don't think it's too crazy.
I think it's crazy that another system would be coming out after 3 years.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother situation. I don't
That's
understand.
that's crazy.
I don't understand play Sony or Microsoft right now, even it being a rumor that
Right.
they're having a new system when not as much power as they put into these new consoles, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, they're not keeping up with the computers. They'll never keep up with the
Never,
computers."
never,
And if
never.
they're trying to keep up with the computers, that's going to do nothing but take more money out of console players' hands. Because that means we have to buy a new system, and that doesn't make sense. And they know that doesn't make sense. The next real next gen, which is, shouldn't be another 5 to 7 years away, that gen might be more computer based than it is now, where it's modular. You can upgrade with a new hard drive or some new processors and stuff. But this one, they're fine. I don't know why they're trying to. I mean, outside of, like, they made the new consoles already with the bigger hard drives, and that's fine. I mean, that makes sense because they're trying to push the digital buys. So yeah, give me more space to get digital purchases. But a whole new system, I'm not feeling that, and I don't think it makes any sense. And I'm not necessarily for it. I don't really. If I really wanted the console, I'll get the console. But it's just a stupid purchase unless you didn't have the console yet. But I don't see how that's really going to push new buys because you can't sell that new console for $200. So
Right.
the new console is going to cost too much money. So I don't see how they're going to get new console purchases out of this new push right now,
Well, I think
especially Microsoft that's been behind.
because
Um,
you have people like me that's new slaves and that's going to buy it regardless. um, but at the same
it's
time,
your fault.
I thought the same thing. Remember when PS3 went through what three different variations of it? We got the slim model shortly after the fatback one. And
Yeah.
then towards the end of the lifespan, they came out with the even slimmer one with the sliding door. And I had the slim model and I had the sliding door variation. So, I mean, and people bought it, because I guarantee you throw in the new PS4 and give us about three colors for it, people would eat it up.
Mhm.
People would eat it up
Right.
because it's a difference. So it can happen because the same thing will happen with the S box. Remember they start coming out with all those limited edition ones. So get the Modern Warfare 3, get the Gears of War, get the actually make me feel like I'm getting something new versus just a updated version of my system. Give me some new color, give me something. And then if the price shouldn't be another $400, I'll be damned.
Right.
Especially when they want another 400 or 500 just for the virtual reality system too. Nah,
Exactly.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's kind of what I'm saying. If they're throwing more tech in, it's going to cost more to make. So I don't see how they make more money by giving it a price drop. They both companies both ended their price drops that they had over the holidays. So I
Actually,
don't
they're
see how
back. They're back. Microsoft is now permanently at 349. So they did a permanent $50 price drop. Um, which that's to me that's an indication they might be working on another console or they're working on a new variation of it. Because you're gonna slowly drop the price on that one, and then come then. But if they're gonna stop manufacturing these models, it shouldn't cost them much more to make the new model because that's the whole point of them making new models. It's cheaper.
Right.
That's the only reason you're going to come out with a new variation of the same system because it's cheaper on their manufacturing there. So you're going to see more income. So they might be able to get a new console out for 250. 250, and bam, you good.
Yeah, yeah, 250 would be good. That wouldn't be too pocket breaking. But we'll see. They have to really bring out E3 around the corner, man. We've been hyped for Evo and stuff, but E3 for this year kind of snuck up on me. We got 2 weeks to E3, and we finally get to see all these new release trailers for all these new games and maybe these new consoles. So I'm really hyped for E3 to see what the gaming season is going to look like this fall. Because last year was nightmare. We had way too many games, which was a good problem to have. So we'll see what happens at E3 in a couple weeks.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, I'm hyped for E3. That's oh, what's the dates? Anybody got the dates?
It's the 14th, I believe it starts. 14th through the 17th, I believe, if I
Uh,
remember correctly.
yes, 14th to the 16th.
16th. There you
Yeah,
go. I was
yeah,
close.
yeah. We out here.
Exactly. Well, we did go through quite a few things today. I think we covered
Mhm.
everything quite clearly. Just kind of to wrap it up, you picked your character already. You picked your play style. So go out there and play some games, see what's going on. Whether you win or lose, maybe after a good session, 20, 30 games or so, check out some of your games. Rewatch those games, learn yourself, find your own personal weaknesses and strengths, and work on that.
Hey,
Other
Till,
than that, what's up, Corey?
hey, Till, they got you on payroll, dog.
I got the
That's
label forward.
Hey, yeah, hey, look, you saw. Hey, he texted me. He was like.
Hey man, we try to get these sponsor coins, man. What you
Hey,
talking
hey,
about? I get
pay
this
us,
sponsorship
pay
Skrilla.
us.
Yeah,
I
get
joined Seagram's Gym because I like it and they pay me for it.
money. Drink
Oh,
Angry
yes,
Orchard.
Angry Orchard.
Drink
drink
Angry
those.
Orchard.
Yes.
And the Fight Club brought to you today by Angry Orchard. No sponsor intended.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey, I ain't mad at that.
Oh, shit.
Don't even pay me coins. Give me free bill. We be alright.
Right.
Give
Y'all
us,
got
give
the
us
Sign,
merch.
merch
sign,
Give
sign
us
this
merch.
bottle of wine if you haven't had this bottle of wine. It's fantastic. And it's not that bad. It's like $50 a bottle.
Hey, remind me to
Sponsor.
add. Remind me that I'm gonna make a clip. Remind me to add Angry Orchard. I'm like, yo, you see this,
No
right?
bullshit. No bullshit.
All right,
Sponsored by
family.
Samsung.
Any other parting words, fellas?
Memorial Day weekend, man. Y'all go out there and be safe.
Be safe, man.
Most definitely.
For
Yeah,
sure.
if you're going
Do
trick or
not
treating,
blow up your backyard with your grill. Don't catch on fire.
Right.
Yeah. If you're
Be
gonna drink,
safe.
drink responsibly.
Eat
Yeah,
ribs.
try.
Eat ribs. It's
Go.
Memorial Day. Eat
Yeah.
ribs.
If you're gonna go,
Yes, eat ribs. I don't care if you don't eat pork. Go get you some.
Get some.
Get some. Get
uh,
some.
if you're gonna go, if you look
All
at,
right, folks.
Look at
Have a
my
safe holiday weekend. We'll be back with you guys Saturday after next. That'll probably be about right after E3 anyway. So, or that weekend before, one of those two.
yeah,
So
be a week before.
it'll be a week before E3, right? So we'll
yeah,
be out here Saturday before E3 to follow up with you guys some more tips, tricks on how to be a better fighter, how to go into the dojo, and things of that nature.
yeah, yes, sir.
Peace out. Thanks for watching the Fight Club.